Matt asks, what are your thoughts on employee retention in the digital marketing industry? Is the high turnover normal?
The reason there's high turnover in my industry, agency life, is because most companies are owned by holding companies who are required. So there's 4 major holding companies in advertising. They've consolidated and bought up all the agencies, and they're these big billion-dollar conglomerates. And I don't know everything about it because I haven't really studied it, but they're big holding companies which tell companies like VaynerMedia, great companies like 72 and Sunny, a great digital shop, and a TV shop, like Droga 5 just got sold, great company. Like these great companies, 360i, Carrot that got bought by Vice, they're owned by holding companies who tell their CEOs, the guy, usually the guy or gal that looks like me that sold the company for a lot of money to get upfront, but then you have to earn it out, and then you're locked in because half your money's gonna come after 4 years, so you gotta keep the job, golden handcuffs, Google it if you don't know what I mean. And so they tell them you have to run your company at a 27% gross margin or 23% gross margin. If I had to do that tomorrow because I wanted the big cash out, I'd probably have to fire 100 people. And then what happens is the inevitable thing that looks like this. You have a superstar youngster that's growing up within the organization, and you guys have lived this, so many have gone from making very little to making more and more and more, right? You inevitably don't promote them for a year or two because you can't afford to, because the only rule is you've got to make 23.7% gross profit. The only rule. And so the reason there's huge turnover is because the best people don't get compensated fast enough. Nobody who's running the company has long-term ambitions because they've already sold out and they're only trying to stay there for 3 or 4 more years and maximize their bonuses and their money, so they're making the decision. And so like anything in life, everything stems from top. It's why I always say on the show, and why I said yesterday in front of the whole company, everything is my fault. And that's true in these scenarios. And so this has been a huge advantage for my company. I'm able to do what I'm doing because I want to build an evergreen company forever. And so I'm able to I'm able to deploy meritocracy, and if that comes at my expense, it comes in my short-term expense, but 15 years from now, out of happiness and financial, I'll win. So that's why that's happening, and so because they don't want to pay, and because they run a margin, they do a lot of things. They don't compensate people properly, they leave. They burn good people to the ground. You know what goes on here. I mean, you're in the trenches. If somebody's on a hardcore account that's tough, we usually get them out of there a year later because they're just dying, but those companies don't usually do that because they just need to maximize, and they're actually incentivized to let you quit. And because then they're gonna replace you for less. And so that's that. So the question was,
what are your thoughts? Is high turnover normal?
Yeah, it's normal because most of the companies are vigged in a game that creates a scenario for high turnover. And so, in general, I'm trying to push you guys 181 episodes deep if you've been along the ride, or if you're 20 episodes in, or if this is your first episode. The concept of the show is to always level up the thinking around business and entrepreneurship. This is an insight to why it happens, right? Everything stems from the top, always and forever. I promise you, your manager who sucks crap, the fault of that situation is the CEO. That's it. Always blame the CEO, because it's the CEO's fault.